Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to Joleen's Happy Time Craftcast. You probably have already guessed that I'm Joleen, and it is so great to have you here on another wonderful Wednesday. I got to start because I'm an old lady and talking about the weather because it's hot in Minnesota, like so stupid hot, like 90 degrees, and the outside feels like you're in a vat of soup. That's what it feels like. So if my air conditioner, if you hear that like freight train sound in the background, that's the air conditioner in my office, and I'm not turning it off. I love you a lot, but even if it's bothering you, I'm leaving it on because it is so hot today. But anyway, that is my quick little complaint about that. And before I bring on today's guest, who I am very excited to have, as always, couple of things going on here at the farm. It is Wednesday before retreat week, and we've got folks coming in tomorrow. 16 artists and crafters will be joining me for a Pick Your Projects retreat. And these are our most popular. This is where people get to pick from a list of my projects. They come to Big Raven Farm here in Spring Grove, Minnesota, and then I teach them how to make these projects. And so we've got 6 folks who are returners, and we're very excited. So the crew is across the driveway cleaning, the chef is preparing, and I am so excited because they've picked some really exciting projects. So if you want to know more about that or like what those retreats are like, I'll be sure to link it in our show notes because it's pretty magical and special. And just thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it even here for 20 seconds. So, okay, enough about that. Let's talk about today's guest. She's kind of a big deal. And I'm very excited that she had time in her schedule to come and join us today on the Happy Time Craftcast. Natalie Keller Pariano. She is the artist and lettering wizard behind Natterdoodle. You've heard of Natterdoodle, right? Like you know about Natterdoodle. Natterdoodle is about creating bold hand lettering goods that sprinkle. And like even her website, like it has confetti and it sprinkles more color, creativity, and connection into everyday life. From sassy stickers and vibrant stationery to playful accessories and art prints, her work is all about big expression, joyful vibes, and spreading delight wherever it goes. So I know you will do a really good job welcoming Natalie to the Happy Time Craftcast. Here she is. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for being here. You are indeed kind of a big deal.
Oh my God, that's so silly, but thank you. That's very generous.
Well, go to your website. Like when people go to your website, like Natalie, it's got a whole vibe. Like the branding is great. Like I wanted to stay there. I wanted to be there longer. I love the stickers. I love the sentiment. I love the art. Like it's really wonderful and pretty awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So, okay. So when you meet a new friend, and they say, so Natalie, tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your 60-second elevator pitch? Like, what do you say? Because you do a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I probably when I'm meeting a new friend, I'm not leading with work, which is a big change from leaving, education. I'm more talking about just my interests in general. But if I'm going to talk about work, we've gotten past that stuff. I'm going to talk about that I just make things with my hands and heart. And I love those things to be colorful. I love those things to feel bold and a little joyfully defiant. And I just really like to make things that connect with people, whether it be nostalgia or really celebrating other people's obsessions. Like I have a whole pop culture and bookish goods and foodie goods and stuff like that. And things that really, celebrate everyone's unique qualities and differences. So,
right. Yeah. So you have so many amazing designs. And is there one that is your favorite of all? Or, I mean, and is your favorite your biggest seller?
No. I don't know that I have one favorite. I will say like the things that I get most excited to make are typically things that won't be a long form product. So I did a project called 100 Days of Heart to Hearts. And I made every day a new piece based on something someone had DM'd me or written in my comments about like what they needed to hear, or like a pep talk.
Really?
Yeah. And those were really special to me because I had one person in mind. And even if they didn't know, like, this piece I was writing for you, Joleen, you wouldn't have necessarily known it was for you.
Right.
But I wanted to find the kind of the universal quality in that would connect with a lot of people. So those are kind of my favorite things to make, those really specific things that have this more universal heartfelt quality. But they don't typically fit in a sticker.
Right.
The longer form,
right.
poetry or like tiny essays. So that's not, those are my favorites, but not my bestsellers. My bestsellers are stickers for sure.
Yeah.
And my best-selling sticker is the personal pan pizza sticker. I don't know if
I love that sticker.
Yeah.
Will you please tell everybody what that thing says? I love it.
So in the 80s and 90s, and it still exists today, but not to the level of importance that it was for us, I feel. There was a program called Book It, and if you read a certain number of books, you would get a personal pan pizza or win a pizza party for your class.
Yes.
So I have a sticker. It exaggerates, but it says, actually, I want to make sure I get it right. Some of y'all have never read 100 books in a single summer to earn a personal pan pizza, and it shows. About the hard work of reading we had to do.
Right.
And so that's my bestseller, my most duplicated, most copied by people.
Sure.
Yeah, but the one that's gone viral the most as well. And
I need several of those because, I have 4 children, and some of them participated in that and some of them did not. Yes. And so the participators would totally want that sticker. And I imagine they would display it proudly and prominently.
It's a good Kindle sticker. It's a good laptop sticker. Yeah, it's really good for readers. People really get a kick out of it. And I love
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so as we were talking and getting ready for the show, one of the things that I'm really excited to have you share with our listeners is you said that there is something called sticker anxiety. And you hear about that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I would imagine I have it. And if it is this, that I have stickers and I'm afraid to use them.
Yes.
Because 1, I think they're precious. 2, I don't want to waste it.
Yep.
And then 3, I'm not exactly sure how to use it or incorporate it, especially like if it's in a piece of like collage work or something like that. Like, is that kind of what it is? Yeah,
I find that a lot of people feel like they're still waiting on the perfect place for their favorite stickers. And they get nervous to use them because they're afraid that a new perfect place will arise someday, that they'll need to put the sticker there and they'll be bummed out that they already used it. And then also I find that people, they think that their things aren't going to last forever. So like eventually you might get a new laptop, right? So your laptop case won't live forever.
Yes.
So people are a little afraid to commit. And that bums me out because stickers are low entry, they're like $4. And so, and also, there's probably going to be another one that you like. So I'm here to kind of say, like, use your stickers. It's okay to use them. A lot of people, I'm seeing that some people are saying they have it. Yeah, a lot of people have it. So you're not alone. People say this to me all the time. They'll buy, I have like a deal at markets for 7 for $20, and they like buy all 7. They're like, oh God, I hope I don't put this in a drawer and get too much to use it. And I'm like, oh no, please use them,
Right.
Yeah.
God, I love that. I mean, I'm laughing because I get it and I've done it. But then, like, as you point out, like, even your expression on like low, like, come on, guys, like, like of the risks and challenges in our life, like those are pretty low, but I get it. So you have 5 ideas, right? Of how to use stickers in maybe ways we haven't thought of. So can you tell us about that?
For sure. Okay. So these are ways that I like to use stickers in ways that you're going to get to see them often. So that you can kind of celebrate them. Because if you really like them and you have anxiety about them, there's ways. So people will always say water bottles and laptops. Of course, I love to do that. And that's great. But a big thing I like to do is I like to take a very plain mug that I use to drink coffee out of, or one that I grab at like the thrift store. And I like to put a sticker on there because I don't make mugs. So you can put your own Natterdoodle mug with your favorite sticker, one on each side, and just admire both sayings if you want to. or jars are great for that. Like all my storage jars for pens and markers, I like to
Oh, yeah.
decorate those with crafty stickers. Another one is, and this is good for crafters, we all have like these big tackle boxes or sewing boxes.
Mhm.
I like to cover those in them because I'm going to see that a lot when I'm getting out my supplies, and that'll bring me joy, just putting myself in the path of joy there. Another thing I like to do is I'm a big happy mail, snail mail person.
Oh,
A
yes.
really easy gift. So if you're going to send a little card and send a sticker that reminds you of someone, I think that's always a really fun, like, it's great to get a card, but now they might not keep the card, but they'll keep the sticker. So you've
Mhm.
really kind of infused a little extra gifty in there. And
Mhm.
then these are my favorite two, and the ones that I feel like people don't ever really think of, which is hard side coolers. I have so many coolers because we're going, to the beach.
Oh,
We're
right.
we're going. I bring one to
Mhm.
every market I'm in, and they're normally pretty plain and boring, and you don't need to buy a new one every year. So to decorate them in stickers is really fun. And then my favorite is hard side luggage, because you might have the same exact black
Oh,
piece of luggage that everyone does.
yes, you do.
Right, but if you put a couple stickers on there, or like me, you cover the whole thing in stickers, you will notice it right away when it is on the belts coming off. And also,
Mhm.
people often stop me to talk about it or point them out. And that's really fun to have like a quick conversation and connect with someone at the airport. So those are my top ideas and the things that I always try to encourage people to consider when they're like, I don't know where to put it. Yeah.
I love it. I wouldn't have thought the mug,
Mhm.
and I appreciate that for a couple of reasons. So we have, I don't know if you've ever tried to dye sublimate a mug. It is a pain.
Yeah.
Like you do not for sure get a good print.
Yep.
And then you've wasted the mug and
Yeah.
it like stinks so bad.
Yeah.
So you've inspired me to like one, maybe I can try to cover up my goofy prints,
Yeah.
or maybe I can just use a sticker instead. I love that idea so,
Yeah.
so, so much. The hard-sided luggage, man, that is brilliant because I mean, so many of our pieces look exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Totally.
And that would be a shout out, for sure. Love
Yeah, it's really fun. People are always talking to me while I'm sitting at the airport with my little carry-on, and it's
it.
covered in stickers, and it's a fun little way to connect with folks, but also it makes it so it always stands out, and I'm never taking the wrong piece, and no one is ever taking
Right.
mine. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think too that you might have some good news for our listeners today with regard to should they do a little shopping at Natterdoodle. Would you like to tell them about that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm offering 15% off everything on natterdoodle.com, and your keyword there, your code is Joleen. Just make sure you spell it right.
Right. So
Yeah,
Joleen, not the Dolly Parton way.
that's
So
right. Yeah.
right. So Dolly Parton is Ene, but
Mhm.
I'm EEN.
That's
So you
right.
gotta like remember that. But
Yes.
15% off your orders at Natterdoodle. That's very generous and very kind. Thank you.
Right.
And I'll be sure to include that information in our show notes as well.
Great.
So thank you so much. Okay. So other questions though about like you in your art space and like
Mhm.
your thinking as a creator. You also said something that had kind of reached in and grabbed my heart today. You said, "Don't hold back, take up space."
Mhm.
Can you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, I think I I'm gonna assume, Jolene, that a lot of the folks listening to you and a lot of the folks you connect with are women, because women
Yes.
tend to be the crafty crew, right? And I find
Mhm,
that, a lot of women, we want to be good at everything right away,
mhm, mhm,
hold ourselves back from trying a new art form or a new craft because we don't think we'll automatically be good at it, and we are so expected to
mhm,
juggle and be good at so many things that we'll get really easily frustrated with ourselves. And so for me, it's like I would rather make a really big mess the first time, but at least try it so that the second time I can have some of those mistakes out of the way.
mhm,
And also, I think it's that we should take up more space and say what we feel and express ourselves boldly. And that's really a lot about the work that I make, is
mhm.
really unapologetically bold, and trying to encourage people to kind of lean into that self-expression for themselves.
Well, the words kind of hit me in an interesting moment today and got me thinking about a couple of things. So, so I'm a Gen Xer and I'm very good at it in
Mhm.
that I am wildly driven.
Yeah.
I don't, I have to encourage and plan for rest. Like
Mhm.
productivity is like my Achilles heel. If I am not being productive, I feel like I'm wasting time.
Oh yeah.
And that's generational, I believe, right? Like that is just something inherent to my generation.
Mhm.
But another thing that I'm kind of observing in myself lately is that I I can make myself small even in the way I sit.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I sit with my legs crossed, I sit with my arms in. I like I do this thing and I don't know why I do it. And we recently had a guest here at the farm, and God bless, I just watched this woman in awe because, like, when she sat down, she was like open and like she took up
Mhm.
space and she was really, really comfortable. And if she was hot, she took off the top layer and she was just in a tank top. Like,
Mhm.
and she just, like, I just, looked at her like a monkey in a zoo, I was just like watching, like completely enthralled. Because if I'm hot, I'm not taking off the sweater. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
still do these make myself small things.
Yeah.
And as it relates to art, so yesterday I got some really good news. One of my pieces has been accepted for display in the Fine Arts Building at the Minnesota State Fair.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it is really great. And
Congratulations.
well, thank you. And it's a juried exhibit, and 3,000 artists try to get spots, and there are just 300. And so one of my habits might be to kind of play it off and be like, yeah, it's great, it's cool, I'm lucky. But then there's another part of me that I am so excited
Yeah.
and so grateful.
Sure.
And could you imagine jurying over 3,000 entries? Like,
Yeah.
God bless them for taking the time to do so. But
Yeah.
anyway, I when you said don't hold back and take up space,
Mhm.
it spoke to me today, because I want to be a little bit more comfortable in my own skin,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that spoke to me. So
Well, I'm really glad it did. And,
it did.
what I will say is like, we've really been trained to, women especially, have been trained to like shrink ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, not in just to be quiet and to smile and to, be peaceful and
Not make waves. That's
yeah,
a thing.
be the
That
mediator,
yeah.
and to always be humble and grateful. And I think
Mhm.
that it's humility and gratitude are really important, but that shouldn't come at the cost of celebration, right? So
Right.
this is an achievement that you've
Yeah.
had, and when you celebrate your achievement, you give permission to other women to celebrate their achievements, right?
That is such a good way. Natalie, will you make that into a sticker?
And
Is that a sticker already?
it's not, but I think it definitely could be. It definitely could be. Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, I haven't really thought about it that way before. And because it is contagious. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
you said this smart thing. It spoke to me.
Yeah.
We are now talking about this, and it happens with my daughter Georgia.
Mhm.
Um, she is amazing. All of my children are, in case the other three are listening, and I'm like not giving equal time. But anyway, at this moment, I'm just talking about Georgia, because she has really been into positive affirmations like
Mm.
since she was little.
Yeah.
And I've taken pictures of her post-it notes throughout the years. I really believe she started this when she was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And she would write on post-it notes and hang them all over her mirror. And she still does it.
Yeah.
And I'm so inspired by her like commitment to this practice.
Mhm.
And she believes it too.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think is so great. Like
Yeah.
she believes the thing she says. And I think that's like part two kind of the challenge, not just to say it, but to also believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you know something, you begin to notice it more, right? So if
Right.
you are in a place of saying, I'm going to take up space, then you can notice more opportunities for you to do that, right?
Right.
So, she's putting herself in a position to see it and keep seeing it and hopefully own it more, right? And that's really important. Honestly, that's how I started lettering. I used to be the dean
Right.
of students at a university, and I loved my job, but I was really stressed out, and I was looking for a way to sort of decompress at the end of the night. And I had always journaled, but I wanted to get back into it in a different way. And so I started just journaling different inspirations and little positive messages. And I taught myself to hand letter that way over time. And that's really how Natterdoodle started. It's like an accident. But that's how it got started for me too, was like affirmations that I needed in the moment and writing them out, because we all know, and we've learned in school, that if you write it down, you're more likely to remember it.
Right. So, goes into your brain in another way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's one of the strategies that I used. Yeah.
So my mouth is hanging open because I think we have something in common that I didn't know about. So did you say Dean of Students?
Uh-huh.
So did you do a college track in counseling and student personnel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So did I.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh my God. Where did you go?
I went to Ohio University.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. I went to Minnesota State.
Amazing.
So like you and I probably speak the same language of college student affairs, residential life, student activities.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was an assistant director of student activities when I took a different career path.
That's where I started out, as a
student activities.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Natalie, that's wild. Yeah. I was at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. So is where I was, just outside of the Mecca of College Park.
Oh yeah. I worked with from that campus because I used to do a program called Leadership, and we would do a Maryland college event of it, and it was all Baltimore schools.
Yes. So did you then visit UMBC?
I didn't get to visit the campus.
Okay.
We had our event on one campus and all the students came to us. So yeah.
Oh my God, that is a wild thing that we have in common.
It is, yeah.
So I'll tell you later. I won't tell you now because my followers know this story inside and out. But just remind me later to tell you about me and Adam Sandler. Just
oh my God, love it.
That could be a couple stickers, but we'll
amazing.
We'll talk about it later. So anyway, okay, so back to some crafty stuff. So do you have like a favorite technique? I mean, because I know you are a very experienced letterer, and you do a lot in the way of teaching that as well. So do you have a favorite of all the things that you do?
That's so hard. I'm a very eclectic artist and
maker.
So I get very bored. So one thing that I'll fall in love with, I will then kind of just be disinterested in for years and then pick it back up. But my favorite lettering style is bounce lettering. This is when all the letters don't necessarily sit on one baseline. Like if you're looking at paper, they bounce a little bit. They feel a little bit more musical, more playful, and they fit together more like a puzzle. So most of my work is a little bit more whimsical and balanced in that way. Yeah.
So what do you say then to people like me who I'm sometimes afraid I'm going to ruin stuff with my handwriting?
Yeah. Well,
you've heard this before, right? This is the new tale.
No, in my intro to hand lettering class, I always ask people to raise their hand if they like their handwriting and tell me some things they like about it. And then also to raise your hand if you don't, and some of the things you don't like about it. And one of the things that people always say that they don't like about their handwriting is that it can be inconsistent. Yeah. So, it might be mood or how quickly you're writing or what kind of pen you're using, and you want to feel that kind of consistency. And I get that. I think that's important when you're making something that maybe you want to sell or that you want to share with. But for me, the thing I like the most about handwriting is it's unique to each person. I always tell this story. When I threw a baby shower for my sister, I would pass her the gifts, as one does, right? And before she opened the first 3 gifts, she would announce who they were from because she could tell by their handwriting.
Oh.
And so without even opening the card, she was like, oh, this one's from Mom, right? This one's from Nicole. And that really moved me because even if you don't like your handwriting, someone else has affinity for it, has memory with it, is attached to it in some way. And so it's unique to you. So I would say when you're making something, think of it that way. Think of it as like your little personal stamp right? Nobody else can mimic your lettering unless they're a wonderful forger.
Right.
So I think that's what's really special about it. I love like recipes that have for
Yeah.
someone's handwriting. Tattoos, handwriting tattoos are really popular now. So just remember that your handwriting is special to someone else. Someone out there loves your handwriting. So give yourself more grace and less grief about that.
Well, more grace, less grief. That could be a sticker if it's
That's
not.
something I teach in my workshop.
Well,
it has been a sticker in the past.
Oh, that's a good one. Last week on the show, my guest Tammy, we were kind of talking about this too, and Tammy said something that I thought like definitely bears repeating. And she said, for those of us who kind of struggle with this whole handwriting thing, that in a way it's kind of sad because if you think about when you find something that your grandma wrote,
right,
or you find something for me like a piece of paper that my dad doodled on. I had a retreat last weekend and I was handing out ephemera, and I thought it would be really special to give everybody a little swatch of some of my dad's handwriting.
Yeah.
And there was one piece, and I mean, I have notebooks and notebooks of it, but there was one little piece I couldn't hand out because it said, his name was Terry. It said, Terry is king, Joe is queen, Thomas is a turd. And Joleen is a stinker. Like he was writing down like the four of us in our family and being silly on a piece of paper. And I love it. I love it. And it was in like his ledger of expenses. Like he was just doodling. And to your point, it is an absolute treasure. Like
absolutely.
I just love it so much. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so my crew, we love talking about favorites. So, do you have a favorite journaling pen?
That's really hard.
I know.
The pens that I use the most are the twin tone mono pens, and they're from Tombow.
Yeah.
And they come in a lot of different colors. And I always I'm holding one of my Natterdoodle pens right now. I like when a pen has two nibs, a really ultra thin point and a nice thick juicy point. And that's why I love those mono writers really a lot. But probably the one I use the most is just like a permanent marker. If I'm on a desert island,
you're taking a Sharpie?
Yeah, I am, because they are just the most versatile.
No, and they're so pigmented. They're so pigmented. I pick it for that. Absolutely.
I love Posca markers. And if I'm writing like a card or like the lyrics to someone's first dance song or something, I'm normally going to use another Tombow pen, which is the Tombow Fudanasuki hard nib brush pen, which is so many words. I love that marker because it's really tactile feeling and it gives you really big, thick strokes and thin strokes. And I like that it looks a little runny in the ink. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Last week, I mentioned it. My friend Barb found some of us really struggle, with the white, like a white pen or a white gel pen. Like you get to use it 3 times and you just can't use it anymore. But to Barb's credit, she found Big Thumb. Have you ever had the pleasure?
I have not. I'm writing that down.
Yeah. So she, I tried them out last week. Juicy, highly pigmented, rich, almost like an inky kind of flow as you're making like a little swirly doodle thing. Amazing, just amazing. Highly recommend. Yeah. So Big Thumb. It's got like a zebra on the package. So.
All right. I'm gonna. My pens are really hard. I normally use the Uniball Signo pen.
Yeah.
But they can skip a little bit and that can be frustrating.
They can skip a little bit. And but do you find you open one new white gel pen and then you are very soon thereafter opening another?
Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like white ink it is oilier, and I always shake my pens before I use them, any kind of pen, unless it's like a old school calligraphy, dual pen. Because especially if they're stored. Pro tip: you should always store your pens horizontally, not vertically.
I was just going to ask you, are you in the vertical camp or the horizontal camp?
I prefer the way they look vertically, but they work better when they're horizontal. So especially with those kind of pens with gel ink, you got to store them horizontally or they get funky.
Yeah, I better go change mine right now. Like
I know. It's
mine
very
sit on my
frustrating.
work table, like
I
so that I
know.
can, just quick. So I'm not helping them
I
when I'm
know.
doing that.
I have some
So
behind me that are vertical, but those ones I know are going to be fine. They're pencils and permanent markers.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So that's good tip for us today, crafty friends. Like let's get them going the other way.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get just a little bit more life out of them.
Yeah.
So something kind of new here on the show is we have, lots of people write in and ask questions, which I love.
Yeah.
And so maybe you can help me with this. Well, we got maybe your pup can too. So this one was sent in by Paper Pixie, and it's about sketchbooks. So what kind of sketchbooks or journals do you like for mixed media? Anything you swear by when you're throwing watercolor, collage, and pens, all at the same time. On the same page. That's a great question.
That's a really good question. I would
Thoughts
say
on that?
when I'm watercoloring and collaging, I'm very infrequently doing it in a journal because I hate when it's not completely flat and
I was
flush.
gonna say you hate warp, do you?
I just really get really frustrated in a journal if I can't
Sure.
make it completely flat.
Mhm.
So very infrequently am I doing that. I normally am using Strathmore watercolor paper when I'm doing those things. And then I also buy in bulk 11 by 17 cardstock that I just get on Amazon. I don't even know the brand of it, but I can send it to you to put in the show notes.
Sure.
Um,
So
that I mix and
with
use.
your watercolor paper, they're going to ask because they're crafty.
Yeah.
What weight and cold press, hot press, heat press? Like, what's your flavor?
I think the Strathmore is 80 pounds.
Okay.
And I don't know what the press is on that.
If it's smoother, it's cold.
Okay.
And if it's hot,
to
it's
it.
texture. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I might be getting it backwards, but I know one is smooth and one is rough.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. My favorite for mixing up all the mediums.
Yeah.
I use a Canson. It's like an 11 by 14. The only thing I don't like about it is it's spiral bound.
Mm.
And so I always have to reinforce it with tape because as I'm navigating and maneuvering, I am quick to rip out a page if I don't want to, like if I'm trying to keep, and I do this more in my like playful practice of like, what am I going to build or what am I going to make or what am I going to play with? So I really like this Canson mixed media. And but sometimes too, like I like a little bit of tooth, but I would say like my answer, Paper Pixie, is stay away from journal paper, maybe stay away from, something that doesn't have enough heft so that you can build up and add all those layers. And let's say, so like I have a lot of junk journalers in my world and they can use those substrates, but they have to build them up first. So they have to glue 2 pages together. They have to add collage as a base layer. Like you can get there, you just can't go directly there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But 2 good answers, either the Canson or the Strathmore, a heavier 140 pound, 90 pounds, something like that. If you like the teeth, one is hot. If you like the smooth, one is cold, and I might be mixing them up. So, I'm sure somebody in our comments will set me straight.
It's hard though, because journal paper just is never really thick enough, I find.
Right. It's not. And even when you build it up to like, then you're going to get the warpies.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have all the things.
That journal that I found for a thicker paper is called Ugly Notebooks.
Oh, I love Ugly. They're so great.
They are really great.
They are great.
I don't know that I don't think I've tested watercolor on that, but I have done collaging and like junk journal.
Yeah.
And they hold that really well.
Yeah, and they're not at all ugly. It's
they're not. They're not.
It's like a play on words, and they're absolutely beautiful the way that they are built and bound. So totally agree with you. Okay, here's one more for us. What's one weird, unexpected tool you use in your craft space all the time? Like, do you have a kitchen item that secretly moonlights as a craft tool? Thank you, Amber. Yes, of course I do. Everyone who knows me knows my answer. It's a chopstick. I swear by it. Metal. metal,
Okay.
because when I use it with adhesive and I use it to like poke things into place,
Mm.
because it's metal, I can just rip off all of that adhesive that's stuck to it.
Mm.
And I even sell metal chopsticks in my gift shop. Like everyone should have a chopstick. It is just so versatile.
How
Chopstick,
funny. Yeah.
1000%.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I have something that is so uniquely not a craft tool. The one thing I use a lot, when you have cabinets and you need those like little rubber bumpers to keep
Yeah.
them from closing quietly, I use those a lot when I make things that I want to sit a little bit above. So I do like hand letter coasters a lot.
Yeah.
And I use those as my little nubs to keep them raised a little bit. And I don't even know I just call them rubber bumpers. I'm not sure what you even call those. Yeah.
They're almost like the felt feet that you put on your furniture. So it
That,
doesn't scratch
yeah,
your furniture.
they're like
Right?
rubber and
Like
they're like little, like the
risers.
circles. Yeah, little risers. Mhm.
Whatever those things are called.
Yeah.
Well, and you seem like you're one of us in that you've never really met a real piece of garbage. Like everything has another use, and like there's lots of ways to like
Oh, yeah.
stretch it out. I was cleaning up the craft room after last week's retreat, and I am a complete sociopath because I was dividing out the garbage and the recycling, and I swear to you, a piece of paper like this big. And I was like, ooh, should I throw it? Can I use it? Is this good for collage?
Yeah.
Like, I just thought about it. It was a ridiculous waste of time, but it had like some paint on it. It was kind of messy and like also had some handwriting. And I was like, ooh. I mean, it's that kind of nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. I used to chop up like all of my old like printed papers and things into 4 squares just as my
yes.
paper, because my granddaddy did it, and like all of his old typed papers, he cut them with a cutting, what are those called?
Guillotine, paper cutting.
Yeah. And use those as like scrap paper. And I did that for years. And then I realized like it's actually okay to not keep all of it because you're making your life a little more cluttered and you don't have the time for it. I keep the fun ones and the good ones, but I can't keep them all anymore. Because I'm a maximalist.
You say that with a strained face. It's okay.
Well, I'm like a maximalized maximalist. And what I don't want to be is a hoarder,
Right.
So
like
we're working.
Like I know that's a very serious like disorder. Like I know I shouldn't make light of it, but I can't watch those shows because
they stress me out.
Me too. I feel like it might be contagious or something.
Yeah.
And I it like completely like gets me all.
And for people like us who do try to reuse so many things, like the reality that like we could do that, I feel like seems close. So it's like,
right.
Back up. Yeah.
I just was going through my magazine collection yesterday because, I have a project. Well, lots of them. Who am I kidding? Lots of projects where we use old magazines. And one of them is, so you take that chopstick and magazine papers and you coil them into a tube. So you're making tubes. And then these tubes go around the perimeter of a round piece of cardboard. And then it's cardboard, tubes, riser, cardboard tubes, mirror. And it makes this beautiful mirror. And I have a whole bunch of them from Uline. I mean, everybody has Uline catalogs. Like it's like our postmaster brings them to my house, but they're just white paper, and the paper almost has like a leathery feel to it. It's completely fascinating. And so I used a Uline, 2 or 3 of them actually, and I made my piece called Beehive. So from tube, I then flattened the tube and then turned it into a coil and made round paper coils. And I made a lady named Evelyn, and her whole hair was just white. And I loved coiling this paper. And I gave this piece to my daughter, and she's huge. She's the size of a sofa. She's amazing. But I've been hauling around like 10 of them for like 4 years because, maybe I'll make another one. But I won't because there are so many other things in the pipeline, like before a repeat, So it's that madness.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm in good company, and I know I'm in good company with my friends who are listening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I am so happy for you and Natalie, you are a big deal and you've created an amazing website, amazing products. I know that you have some things coming up too where people can kind of see you in real life. You want to tell folks about that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I teach a lot of workshops on the road. I teach a lot of workshops on college campuses, which I love. That's a really fun little
Yeah.
callback from my former career. I'll be teaching also at the Chicago Planner Conference upcoming,
Yes.
in November. And then I'll also be teaching at Craftcation in April, which is a great event in California. And hopefully some other things coming on down the pipeline. But yeah, those are a couple of places that you can definitely check me out in person.
Awesome. And that discount code is Joleen, Joleen, at natterdoodle.com. And we will be sure to link all of that in the show notes. But before we say goodbye, we have to get to everybody's favorite segment. It's our 10 questions. And you can give us one-word answers. You can elaborate. But before we let you go, it just gives us a chance to get to know you even better. Hopefully the questions aren't too hard. So we start with, what is your favorite word? And it could be today. I realize these change.
Yeah, I think probably my favorite word is confetti, and that's also my dog's name. Yeah. Her full name is Confettuccine Alfredo because we're Italian, but
Yes, that makes good sense. I love the way you use confetti on your website too. That's absolutely brilliant. It's a great branding, great package. I love the whole thing. That's awesome.
thank you.
Well, and I feel like confetti is one of those words that is a noun and a verb,
Yeah.
right? It feels very action-y.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me today, my word honestly is I'm joyfully grateful.
Mm.
I'm so excited about this state fair thing.
Yeah, you should
I
be.
am so excited. I mean, the Minnesota State Fair, to those of us who live here, is such a big deal. And I mean, biggest one in the nation. So many people pass through. I'm just excited that a piece of mine will be hanging on those walls. So,
That's
I'm
incredible.
very, very excited. So, thank you. So, okay. So then, do you have a least favorite word?
Ooh, I I really hate the word pleasure.
Really?
I know, I don't it
Pleasure.
it just sounds weird. Like reading for pleasure sounds very dirty to me for some I don't know. I've always not liked it, and I don't
Right.
really know why. Because
That's
I like
okay.
things that are pleasant, you know?
Right, of course. I
Yeah.
I prefer pleasant over pleasure.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't know if you've heard this story of mine about, so I was live streaming and I was folding books because I have a room on my gift shop. I did a Harry Potter ceiling. So instead of floating candles, they're floating folded books. And
Wow.
there's about 100 of them. They're just various heights and they're flying. And they were romance novels that I got out of the recycling center.
Love it.
And as I was folding them, really, really dirty pleasure words were coming up and on the screen. And I didn't see it. And I quickly put my hands over it until somebody in the comments was like, did that just say? And then
Yeah.
the dirtiest thing
Yeah.
you could think of.
Yep.
And yes, it did. So I'm with you on this one that pleasure brings me back.
No, I'm not rude, but something about the word pleasure is just
Right.
ick. I don't know.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Well then, so switching gears, then this is really important because it's almost lunchtime, right, for us. So what is the best kind of sandwich?
So sorry.
That's okay. Life is happening. We're fine.
The mailman arrived and well to the dogs. Okay, the best kind of
sandwich. Yeah.
Okay, so my partner is a chef, so I apologize.
Too.
Shut up, really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know, we have so much in common. Keep
I know.
going.
That's so crazy. Okay, so he's been making me this sandwich all summer, and it's very simple, but it is unbelievable. It is only good in the summer when the tomatoes are so juicy.
Yes.
But it is tomatoes marinated in lemon, salt and pepper, a little bit of a red pepper flake, and then mayonnaise and a really good bread. And I don't know how to explain this to you, but it is so satisfying and so fresh and like so bright tasting. It's
A
amazing.
tomato sandwich.
That's all it is. But the lemon marinating it just like really amplifies how good it is.
Oh my God, my face is in a stunned state of expression because that sounds so good.
It's so good.
My favorite food is toast, as everybody who listens knows. I like can't get enough of it because
Yep.
I need food to be crunchy. Like if it's not crunchy, I'm really not interested.
Yeah.
So toast, like right off the bat, just checks the box.
Mhm.
But this is one that like it's a classic, but there are a couple things that are important. So it's a grilled cheese, but it's a grilled cheese with pickles, like the acid. And then if you want to get really low palate, you dip it in ketchup.
Oh.
You just gotta trust me.
It's like a cheeseburger without the burger.
Exactly. But it's the acid from the pickles and the ketchup
Okay.
that just like it just trust me.
Girl, I love that for you. Yes. I don't know that I'm gonna make it.
Right.
I'm happy for you. Yeah.
I know. It's like my husband is a chef and I'm just like grilled cheese with pickles, please.
I were always simple too. And he's like, I can make anything. I'm like,
I know, right?
No.
I know, just
Not
right
a
now.
bagel. Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, just grilled peanut butter and jelly. Like that's all.
Yep.
Right. That's all I'm looking for. But for those of you who are thinking that this might not be a thing, it's so good. It's so good. But I'm gonna tell Darren about this marinate the tomatoes and the lemon and then a little bit of heat. Because you're checking the boxes, right? Because we live by the acid, heat, fire, like whatever that book is, right?
Yes. Salt, acid, heat.
Yes. That one. Okay. So next question. So some of us believe that animals can be scary.
Yeah.
And if you do, which animal is the scariest?
I'm sort of known to be a person who thinks I can befriend any animal. So this is hard for me because often I'll be in a situation where I'm like approaching an animal that I shouldn't be. What animal is the scariest? I don't know. I don't know that I'm that afraid of any. I will say I think that there are some birds that I think are rude. Like the cowbird is very rude.
I love that.
And puts its own egg in the other mama's nest and then like ruins the whole vibe. So I think the cowbird is very rude. I don't know that I'm afraid of it though.
Right. I love that.
You have mafia-like tendencies because I looked this up on Audubon.com when I was like, remove this cowbird egg from the sparrow's nest. And it was like, no, don't do that because they have mafia-like tendencies. So that's kind of scary.
I feel like that is like the quote of our episode is that some birds are rude. Like I just really love that so much. So I have been dealing with a raccoon problem because I've been influenced by social media to believe that raccoons live in your house and that you can have them like a cat, and that no harm will befall you if you are friendly with a raccoon. But I have a killer raccoon who has now killed 2 of my chickens and
oh God.
Yeah, and maimed the 3rd. And so we decided that this raccoon would be a part of Darren's raccoon relocation program. And so we tried to trap the raccoon and then release the raccoon somewhere else. And trapping a raccoon is very easy because they love dog food. Like it's just like simple. You just like open the door and in they come. But we didn't catch the raccoon. We caught her children.
Wow.
So 2 super cute little baby fluff balls were in the trap. And what complicates this even more is when we were back doing yard work on Mother's Day and all the children were home, 3 of the 4 helping do yard work, there were 2 baby raccoons that fell out of a tree and my daughter Georgie found them and we picked them up and we put them back in the tree. And like, we feel like these are the same ones because they're about the same size. And so like we rescued them from the tree and now their parent is killing our chickens. Like it's a very dramatic barnyard.
It's a soap opera.
It is a huge problem right now, but it's like, I just want us to all get along and like, just stop killing my chickens. And then you can live here. I'll even give you food. Like just stop.
Yeah. Oh no. That now I've changed my mind. The scariest animal is that raccoon that lives.
I know that one specific raccoon,
I agree.
and it's just right now.
Don't kill
So
your
yeah,
chickens. That's
it's
so
just,
mean.
I know, right? It's tyranny. It's absolute tyranny.
Yes. Oh my God.
I know. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it. Okay, here's another one for you. So, okay. So you're an artist
Mm.
in your business, in your time, in your profession. Like, okay, what does that mean to you? Like you and I come from college student affairs, right?
Yeah.
And now we're artists. So like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Yeah, it took me years to even use the word artist to
I
describe
know you're in
myself.
good company.
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah, to me, it means that I am committed to creating things to make the world more colorful, creative, and connected. That's what my view of being an artist is for me. And I think I do a pretty good job of that, but I'm always trying to elevate what that means, how I connect more people through art and the experience of art, and how I continue to add color because it's one of our most natural resources of joy into the world. Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna sit in that with that for a minute because like that's just awesome. I mean, and I guess for me too, like for me, it feels like I'm finally home.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I dabbled, like a master's
Mhm.
degree in counseling and student personnel, and I did that for a while, and then I was recruited into the corporate space, and I did that, and I then was an instructional designer, and I did that,
Yeah.
and I have been an artist this whole time,
Yeah.
and didn't really listen to it as like an option for vocation.
Right.
And I feel like home, I also feel a little late to the party in the identification of like,
Sure.
that's the essence of who I am. I think I approach most things with my artistic hat on, like the way that I parent, the way that I'm a partner, the way that I run my businesses. I feel at home.
Yeah. Good.
I also feel like people see me and like they say, like Darren will say she's an artist, and they're like, oh,
That explains everything. Yeah.
like, oh, okay, like another little nugget of wisdom just
Right.
from the sky. And then they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Amazing.
All right, one more for you. Is there a sound or a noise that you love?
Yeah, I love thunderstorms so much, especially at night. I just love, love, love. I love the sound of our cat's Belle coming up from the basement. She's afraid of the dogs. So when she's like willing to come up and be with the family, I'm like, oh, here comes the cat. So those are two that I really love. And then I love, my niece and nephew call me Nanny, and I love just hearing them
That sound,
because my sister used to call me that when she was really little, and so it just really resonates. Yeah.
So on the other end of that little spectrum, then are there sounds and noises that you do not like?
I do not like when music is playing at the same time as other music and they're overlapping. That is like just,
I know you're like in a vortex. I know.
Yeah, I hate that. That is really, really bad for me. And I really hate dog whimpering, which is not like because I'm mad, because I just feel like stressed, like, oh my God, I'm uncomfortable or unhappy. Yeah.
Yes. Totally agree. So this was an actual car ride in my life. Husband was driving. I was in the passenger seat. My kids had their headphones in. It was a long, like, cross-country trip. One of my kids had the haptics on their phone. So right. And then the other one, like, they'd get a text message and it would make a sound like, ring, right? So like all four of them had like a different alert system, and their awareness that it wasn't out in the general world because they were all wearing headphones.
Yeah.
I think I just felt like I was in a pot of boiling water. Like I was so overstimulated. And I'm like, what kind of person has their phone? Like, your phone makes a noise? What?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
This really gets me too. Honestly, once I was in a retreat in my old career and someone went to the bathroom and they'd been typing the entire retreat, which meant they weren't actually doing the retreat because they were typing. And when they were in the bathroom, I went over and turned off their haptics and they didn't notice.
That's
so bad. I don't even think they noticed that it happened or knew what it was.
Sometimes, I love my mom so much. I do. Mom, I love you if you're listening. But like when I get a hold of her phone, I'm just like, there are settings that I must adjust.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom has a different song for every person who calls, and it is such a chaotic cacophony of somebody's got Meet the Muppets, and then
Right.
like it's wild, and I don't know how she does it, honestly.
The amount of time it must have taken her to set that up. That's amazing.
I know. It is kind of charming, but it also is wild because out of nowhere, you just hear like the loudest song. Like, what is that? Like, where is that coming from? So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Okay, so other than the profession that you have, is there one that you'd maybe like to attempt?
Yeah, I do a lot of community theater, just like as a fun creative outlet for myself. I used to do it a lot growing up, but then of course you did, girl. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And so after the pandemic, I was like, I really need to do creative things that aren't only about work and productivity. And so I'm going to do some try out for some shows. And I really love being on stage. Honestly, if I could like go back in time and I would feel the fear and do it anyway, I would do stand up. So
wow, that's brave.
Yeah, I think I would have. I love sketch comedy, and I feel like it's something I really would have wanted to do, but I was too afraid by what everyone once said about you'll never make a career in entertainment, et cetera. And now I'm so happy what I'm doing that I don't want to change it. But if like 18-year-old me didn't have so much fear, she would attempt something. Yeah.
Well, I believe that like my dad, I don't think he intended to give me a bum steer. Like I really don't. But I went to college on a musical theater scholarship, and I thought I was going to Broadway. Like I thought that was going to be my job.
Yes.
And my dad said, that's a really tough life, and there's a lot of rejection. And I just want you to be prepared that like it might not turn out the way you want it to. And I think what he was saying was, just manage your expectations. Like this isn't an easy path. But in my 18-year-old undeveloped brain, what I heard was, you're not very good at this. Which I'm great at it. So like, I don't know why that like, but that's what I heard at the time. And then that was like the trajectory from there. What I thought was so hilarious was, I don't know, a decade later, maybe he was like, Pumpkin, I never really understood why you didn't major in theater. And I was just like,
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? We don't know how something can say how big it can loom in someone's life, right?
Well, and he did not mean it.
Of course he didn't. Yeah.
Give me a bum steer. It's just, I think the way that, self-esteem plays into choices in undeveloped brains, even in developed brains, and so it's kind of like, our son, Charlie, who I talk about a lot, he's a death metal drummer. And I am so supportive of this. Like, I love it. I think it's amazing. I am, and when we go to his shows, my husband is always like, there's a mom, there's a mom, there's a mom. Yeah. Kind of stand out. But who cares, right? If he will ever be the next major death metal drummer. Like, I don't know. I don't even care. But what I do care about is that he's passionate about it and he's talented and he loves it. And he finds it so fulfilling.
Absolutely.
So, check, done. Yeah. Right? Like, that's awesome. Like, do that. And he's 21. So do that, my son. And like, he works construction. So he's responsible, paying his bills. Like, the whole thing. Yeah. He didn't get the warning conversation from me is all I'm saying.
That's good.
He got the go do it. But now back to you. So is there one that you would not like to do? Is there a job out there where you're just like, no?
Yes, many. There's just, I can't even, I have so much respect for so many people who do so much work that I would hate to do. I could fill a whole book of jobs I don't want to do. I don't even know how I would.
Well, like nurse, I don't think I could do that. My friends who are nurses, like, God bless them. That seems so hard.
Nope. Teacher. I would not want to do that. Teacher, I would like, but we're in education, so we were teachers.
Right.
Nurse, I don't like blood or medical. So I would say doctor. I don't like that. No, that's not for me. touching, like I have a former intern of mine started her own business where she essentially goes to places where it's like sort of a hazard situation. Like she cleans homes of people that weren't found till later on. And I think I admire her so much. I can't cope with that kind of stuff. The emotional toll that it takes on me, I couldn't do. So like I'm just so grateful for people who take care of people in these dark, difficult moments because everyone has that capacity. And yes, that's one, I guess.
Our daughter works in senior care, and she's got a tough job. And boy, do I admire.
Yep.
And it's really, really interesting is like taking care of people at their most vulnerable, I think has made her a better human.
Oh, certainly.
She's just so lovely and kind and has such generous capacity and patience.
Yeah, that's a really hard work. I used to work in a nursing home for years and years, and it really taught me a lot about older folk, and it gave me a lot of respect for them. And I feel like I'm not afraid of that, but it's the like I couldn't do funeral, like the grief part. Yeah.
Those are tough, and I really do, like you, I appreciate the folks who do that, and I also love that they find it. Right? Like they find that good fit. And I think that that's absolutely beautiful. So, well, here's your very last one. And since we are a show about happy crafting and happy times, so what brings you the most happiness? If you had to pick
the one thing, I mean, so I mentioned that like color is one of our most natural resources for joy. And I consider myself to be like a dealer of joy. Like I'm just really obsessed with it. I've done a lot of research on it. And I think teaching people and introducing people how to put themselves naturally in the path of joy more often is probably what brings me the most happiness. Seeing people connect with a few really tangible, low-hanging fruit ways that they can just be a little bit more joyful. I think that's probably it. And then selfishly, like my pets, my niece and nephew, my friends, my family, that's really the top. I think, people and living things bring me the most connection for me personally. Yeah. Brings me
right. Yeah. I agree with all of that and would add that in my life as a crafty community person, like having people in my community, I feel absolute happiness and joy that like I have people like this, like in my life. So earlier, Deborah added this comment, Joleen, I think you are small sometimes to let others have space and shine. It is humble. Be big, be small. Both are good.
That's lovely.
I mean, the amount of happiness that my community brings me, it's immeasurable. And I'm just so grateful for it all the time to be surrounded by these beautiful, compassionate, lovely, giving, humble women. I love it. I love it so, so, so much. So it brings me all kinds of happiness. So Natalie, thank you so much for being here. Like you have been so generous with your time and so generous too to our community with this, awesome discount code. And I'll remind everyone again, it's Joleen, Joleen, and you will find everything over at Natterdoodle.com. So please go and give that a look. So thank you so, so much for being here. I've had a lovely time and I hope we can stay connected because boy, do we have a lot in common.
I know. Yeah. This has been so fun. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for the invitation and thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you joining us today, thank you for being here. I hope you'll join me July 30th, where my guest is Tamara Kelly. Tamara is the editor of the Moogly blog. She too is something of a big deal. And she has got amazingly fresh, modern, unique crochet designs, patterns and tutorials. And she's going to be here talking about all of that and more. So I hope to see you next time on the Happy Time Craftcast. For those of you here live, I love you so, so much. And for those of you listening, thank you. And I hope you all stay happy. See you next time.